Welcome to Sooner Sports Pad, presented by OU Health, proud to be Oklahoma's flagship academic health system.
Hello and welcome to Sooner Sports Pad. I'm your host, Kaylee Jo Hobble, and right beside me are Abby Williams and Britton Ross. And who's ready to talk some Sooner sports?
Well,
I am.
I definitely am too.
I am as well, and a bye doesn't mean we're saying bye to OU football this week. We're going to be taking some notes from NSYNC and talking bye, plus the 120th edition of one of the most historic rivalries in college football.
And we have two members from OU football with us tonight. R. Mason Thomas and Billy Bowman are in the crowd, and we'll talk with them later.
And the GOATs are back. OU softball is holding their annual battle series this week. Stick with us to hear when.
But first, we're going to take it back to the Tigers. And look at these fans right here. They're excited. I wonder how long that's going to last for. We're going to start right here in the first, where true freshman Michael Hawkins Jr. takes matters into his own hands, or should I say legs, with his 48-yard touchdown run, 7-0 OU. And the Tigers respond with 2 touchdowns in the second quarter, this being the latter of the two as Peyton Thorne throws a 48-yard touchdown pass. Heading into the fourth, it's now 21-10 Auburn, and Javonte Barnes rushes for 2 yards for the touchdown. But the Sooner magic really comes out here. Thorne throws the ball, and it's Oklahoma's Kip Lewis who catches it. And there he goes all the way to the house. Oklahoma takes its first win in the SEC, 27-21.
Well, the Sooners saved their best plays of the day until the fourth quarter, and I had the best view of it from the sidelines while covering the game. Here's my recap on the defensive performance from Jordan-Hare Stadium. Oklahoma's defense kept them in the game against Auburn, down 21-10 in the fourth quarter, but a Kip Lewis 63-yard pick six gave the Sooners the lead, and they never looked back. OU went on to win the game 27-21, led by that Venables defense.
I was hoping that I wouldn't fall. When I dropped back, I was hoping that I wouldn't fall on my face when he threw me the ball, and I was like, oh, this is going to be. And after I grabbed it, I was just ready for my life. I couldn't remember a lot because I was so tired. I don't think I can really feel it. I mean, that was just like Sooner magic at its finest.
Obviously huge. I mean, gave us a lead down there late and with an opportunity, man, where I was so proud of our guys because they could have said at 21-10, turn it in and let's go to the house, but they didn't. They kept fighting, and you make a big-time play like that, and that's the type of thing that wins you a game, a fourth-quarter mindset. When everybody else is going down in the fourth, we're trying to be better.
What a freaking play. Probably not talking in the same language had he not pick sixed him there. So I love watching him play. One of his best qualities is he just loves to compete, and he plays with so much joy and happiness. When you're chewing him out, he's a happy guy. But a lot of fun.
Up next for the Sooners, the Texas Longhorns at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, where the defense will have to put on another stellar performance if they want to win that game. Reporting from Jordan-Hare Stadium, Britton Ross, Sooner Sports Pad. Well, this Sooner defense already has 18 sacks this year. Last year, they only had 24 all season. Those 18 sacks has them tied for second in the country, and they're on pace for more than 40. Last year, Ethan Downs was the defensive sack leader with 4.5. R. Mason Thomas already has 5.5, and we're not even halfway through the season yet.
Well, Sooner Sports Pad reporter Aiden Tyler was there with you in Auburn, and he is how the offense helped the Sooners get their first SEC win.
Sooner fans may have been asking themselves how the offense would respond after putting up 15 points against Tennessee, or how Michael Hawkins Jr. would perform in his first career start, or maybe even, what is a War Eagle? Some of those questions were answered on Pat Dye Field behind me when the Sooners took on Auburn.
Just kind of encapsulate everything into that one play on the 2-point play. What a heroic type play, and just again thankful for victory, from victory. Thankful for the leaders on this team, and we got to get better. And there's a lot, and I didn't take that away. We just got the 4-1, and our guys recognize that. The bye week comes at a good time. We got a lot of guys that are banged up, and they just kept fighting, but we got to get healthy and take on this next stretch.
Oh yeah, I was so stoked. I love Mike, and just like his energy and how he plays, and he's gonna give you everything he got. So I had to tell myself, we got to give him everything we got.
Mike plays a lot of heart. And I kind of need him to slide a little bit more, but that's not how he plays. He's going to fight for those extra yards. But, at the end of the day, that's a guy that we can get behind, and, we're going to support him no matter what happens.
The Sooners won this game without their top 5 wide receivers on the depth chart. And now the bye week can give them a chance to rest up as they face Texas on October 12th. Reporting from Jordan-Hare Stadium, Aiden Tyler, Sooner Sports Pad.
Well, thanks, Aiden. This is the first game the Sooners have played all season since Temple without throwing an interception. Michael Hawkins Jr. came to play, notching his first career rushing touchdown for OU's longest rushing play of the season. J.J. Hester led on the receiving front, 3 receptions for 86 yards.
Well, the Sooners are now at number 19 in the AP poll with 8 other SEC teams in the top 25. Jalen Milroe and the Crimson Tide are now at the number 1 spot, and the Georgia Bulldogs have moved back to number 5. But in just the SEC standings, the Aggies are running the conference as the only team with 2 league wins, and 4-1 Oklahoma comes in as 7th. The undefeated Longhorns now sit at number 2 in this week's AP poll and sit as OU football's next opponent. When we return, we'll break down the bye week and what Sooner fans have coined Texas Hate Week.
This segment is presented by family-owned Community Coffee, the official brewed coffee of OU Athletics. Taste the difference family makes.
After earning their first SEC win, the Sooners get a break this week with a bye. And a much-needed break because after that, it's the Red River rivalry. The Sooners round out regular season with SEC opponents South Carolina, Ole Miss, Missouri, Alabama, and LSU. Plus out-of-conference Maine for the first meeting of these 2 teams ever. Abby, what does Team 130 need to focus on during this bye?
Well, Kaylee, it's time to rest up. Last week's injury report looked like a CVS receipt, except I'm not getting any coupons here. 5 receivers, 2 defensive backs, 1 linebacker, a running back, an offensive lineman, a kicker, and a partridge in a pear tree. Taylor Tatum, Deion Burks, and Tyler Keltner have only missed the Auburn game.
Well, the main thing the Sooners need to do during this bye week is to get Michael Hawkins Jr. more comfortable running the offense. I know Sooner Nation's been fired up since he took over, but he still is a true freshman, and he's looked at like it a bit at times. OU was 2 for 11 on 3rd downs and 0 for 1 on 4th down there in Auburn. So the bye week is the perfect time to expand the playbook just a little bit.
Well, the team in Burnt Orange is coming off their first SEC win, too, against Jeff Levy's Mississippi State Bulldogs. Texas has improved to 5-0 on the season with the 35-13 win. Quarterback Arch Manning led the offense with 324 yards and 2 touchdowns. But according to reports from 24/7 Sports, Quinn Ewers will return to the starting position at the Cotton Bowl. Before his injury, the Longhorn had completed 73% of his passes for 691 yards and 8 touchdowns. Now, these old rivals will add a new chapter to their story next week. Britton, what does OU football need to do defensively to secure the Golden Hat?
Well, Kaylee, Joe, this Texas offense is 8th in the country with 45 points per game, but it's hard to get a read on how good they are because they haven't played a defense like OU's. But I do know that if the Sooners defense can continue to get sacks and force turnovers, they'll have a really good shot to win, especially if they can keep it close in the 4th quarter.
January, talk about a 4th quarter mentality. That's a different type of mindset where we have to finish games out, and that comes back to our training that we do all the way back. Winter workouts, summer workouts, and so in those moments, like you saw tonight, we were able to perform at our best.
The Texas defense is no joke either. The Horns rank 6th in the NCAA in yards allowed per game. For the Sooners offense, OU ranks 73rd in points per game. But in a rivalry match, anything can happen. After their win at Auburn, the Sooners look to keep the momentum going at the Cotton Bowl Stadium next week.
He went right into the Tiger's den, if you will, and was fearless. Certainly not perfect, but he did a really nice job of not taking a bunch of sacks. Thought our offensive line did a lot of great things. They picked up a lot of protections, a lot of pressures and things of that nature, twist. Did a really nice job.
Well, this Texas team is another level. They're fresh off a college football playoff run, but there's such thing as Sooner magic for a reason. And I think this rivalry will rival last year's 34-30 OU win with another nail biter with Oklahoma on top.
Well, we've seen it in some incredible games in the Cotton Bowl in these recent years, minus 2022, and I think we're in for another one this season. I think the Sooners saw off Bevo's horns and win 41-38.
I'm with y'all. This is a rivalry game. Anything can happen. Dating back to 2010, OU is 7-1 when playing Texas, and both teams are ranked. OU takes the Golden Hat this year in a close one.
Stick with us because you'll hear more from OU football, but this time in a live interview right here in Studio A with our two anchors. I promise you, you won't want to miss this.
Find exclusive Sooner Sports content like post-game coverage, coaches shows, and even classic broadcasts all on the Sooner Sports Podcast. Presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad, presented by Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards.
Say hello from all the way across the street from Gaylord College at the stadium to Billy Bowman Jr. and R. Mason Thomas. Billy is a senior defensive back from Denton, Texas. He was named to the 2023 All-Big 12 first team and has notched 9 career interceptions. One of those was against Tulane this season. R. Mason is a junior defensive back from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He was named the Nagurski National Player of the Week after his performance versus Tulane. Abby, Britton, take it away.
Well, thank you both so much for being here. So to start it off for both of you, you just played in the first SEC road game. Did that feel any different? And is there anything in the Big 12 that can compare to that?
Honestly, to me, I don't know about R. Mason, but it definitely was different. I think you don't understand it till you're actually in it. Being in the SEC is more down south. It's just more. It's the South is the football, so everything's bigger. It just had a different smell and taste to it, sort of.
What about you?
Piggyback off of what Billy said, yeah, a lot of things were different from the Big 12. It's just little things you wouldn't notice, just like the scenery and just how we were in Auburn. It's just basically the South. Yeah, it's just different.
Well, Billy, this one's for you. You, Danny Stutzman, Ethan Downs, you're all very vocal leaders on the defense. What's it like just having those kind of leaders on the team?
It's great. You need a team who's ran by its players and not by its coaches. But I think for us, the big thing is that we have a bunch of teammates around us that, listen to us, they buy in. And so really, we've been able to do a good job of creating more vocal leaders. So, you got people like R. Mason, he's a leader in that same realm on the D-line like Ethan Downs is, Kobe McKenzie and Kip Lewis stepping up in the linebacker room. And then, you got Robert Spears-Jennings and Woody Washington in the back end. So it's good that, we have us three, but it's more than just us.
Now, R. Mason, you're tied for first in the SEC in total sacks. Was that something you envisioned for yourself coming into this year?
Yeah, that was an affirmation for me in the beginning of the year. Just had to really believe it and then go out and do it. So that was a big goal for me, but season not done yet, so I still got to produce more.
Now for both of you again, the defense is tied for second in both forced turnovers and sacks. What has led to that improvement this year?
A lot, and it's intentionality throughout once the season has ended, we go through spring ball and fall camp, and our coaches just, emphasize those two big things. We do turnover circuits all the time in practice, just working on punching the ball out different type of ways, make sure we catch it, secure it, and then, just with the sacks, the D-line has done an incredible job of stepping up, and every single one of them has pushed each other to, be better.
R. Mason, what do you think?
Yeah, just what we've been doing in January, we've been, as a coaching staff, they showed us how many sacks we missed, and it was really embarrassing. So just to go out and do that and try, actually get the sacks, and how Billy was saying since January, we've been the intentionality of just going out and doing it is just different from this year.
Well, R. Mason, it seems like you've always played your best ball in the fourth quarter. What does the coaching staff do to kind of put you in that position to make sure you're able to do that?
Oh, it's just when the team's down, they become, in the beginning of the game, they do a lot of more schemes to try to throw our pass rush off. But when you need the points and you need the yardage, you throw the ball and you put everybody out. So it's just, you get those one-on-ones, essentially. It's not really like double teams or try to play action here or there. It's just, we know you're going to pass the ball, and I know that, they know that, and you just got to get your one-on-one done.
Well, Billy, what makes that OU Texas experience so special? That environment, it's unlike anything else.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's unlike anything else. You know, it's split down the middle, orange and red, and so it's loud the whole entire game, no matter who has the ball. I would say what makes it even better is, having the Dallas little Texas State Fair right there in the mix of it. So, it draws more people, and it's just a great environment to be around.
Well, thank you both so much for coming and joining us tonight, and good luck on the rest of your season.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Billy and R. Mason. And don't worry, you'll see this OU defense and the rest of the Crimson and Cream next week at the Cotton Bowl for the first edition of the Red River rivalry in the SEC. Now, when we come back, we're taking it to the court, the field, and even the diamond. The Sooner sports keep coming. You won't want to miss it.
Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Taco Mayo. Big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today. Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards.
Now, Abby, Britton, and I have done some of the talking, and even our interview guests have, so now it's time for our audience to get in on the action. But first, Billy, what are you doing during your bye week?
Honestly, I'm just going to enjoy it. I'll probably have a few of the teammates over on Saturday and watch some games. We don't never get to do that, so do something we don't never get to do much.
Alrighty, and for a Sooner fan, what are we doing?
Since it's a bye week, I'm going to go to Chicago, I think. I need a break from Norman, so I'm going to go to the city. Let's see how that is.
Well, that sounds like so much fun. And since OU football isn't playing, we're going to switch to some more Sooner sports. And I'm going to bump it over to some OU volleyball because, upset alert, they took down number 20 Tennessee for the squad's first SEC win ever. In 4 sets, Alexis Shelton, who was on the show last week, she led with 19 kills and 4 digs. This marks Oklahoma's first win over a ranked opponent since 2014. Wow. On deck, another ranked team as the Sooners travel to Lexington to face Kentucky.
Well, OU soccer has been fighting in the SEC for a few weeks now. This past week, they went down to the Bayou but lost to LSU 3-1. And then they faced Kentucky right here in Norman on Sunday. Junior Alexis Washington tied the Sooners' record for the most career assists in the 4th minute when Washington placed this little touch pass to Sophia Green to give the Sooners the lead. But it wasn't quite enough as the game finished as a 2-2 draw. And now they get to host Georgia this Friday at 7 p.m.
Well, I want to talk about some Sooner softball because it's never too early to mention the 4-peat national champions. The Oklahoma Battle Series is back tomorrow night. This head-to-head competition gives the Sooners a chance to play their toughest competition yet, themselves. At 6:30, Patty Gasso's squad is back on Love's Field for the first time since winning the national championship.
Now, this next competition is right here in the studio. Our 2 anchors will debate all things Sooner sports. When we come back, it's time for Face Off.
Thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola.
It's time for Face Off. Our 2 anchors will go head-to-head debating all things Sooner sports. And our in-studio audience will pick a winner. Britton is currently in the lead in wins, but Abby has the chance to tie it up. With a new starting quarterback and all 5 of the top receivers out, which player on the offense made their mark?
Well, Kaylee Jo, Michael Hawkins had to have someone to throw the ball to, so I'm going to go with J.J. Hester as my offensive MVP. He led OU with 86 yards on 3 catches, including this 60-yard bomb. Yeah, it was a good ball by Hawkins, I'll give you that, but it was Hester that created the separation, especially with OU's top 5 receivers out. Hester stepped up big time.
Britton, you literally said it. My MVP is the reason yours is even getting mentioned. I'm going with none other than Michael Hawkins Jr., the very first Sooner offensive drive. The true freshman took the bar 48 yards to the house. Hawkins is the first OU true freshman quarterback to win his starting debut on the road and the first to lead the Sooners to a win in the SEC.
Alrighty, well, over on the other side of the ball, turnovers have been key, and this weekend, a turnover was key. Abby, who is your defensive MVP?
Well, he's right here in the house with us. I'm going with the quarterback killer, R. Mason Thomas. It seems like he just gets better every game. In the fourth quarter, he recorded back-to-back sacks, forcing the Tigers to turn it over on downs. And if that's not good enough for you, Britton, you mentioned it earlier, he's tied for fourth in the NCAA for total sacks.
Well, Abby, you're just pandering because he's in the crowd tonight. The clear-cut choice, I'm sorry, R. Mason, it's linebacker Kip Lewis. He had 5 tackles, a tackle for loss, and of course, this 63-yard pick six that gave the Sooners the lead and ended up giving them the win late in the fourth quarter. And he was named SEC Defensive Player of the Week for his efforts.
Yeah, he was. Well, my pick this week for Sooner in the Pro is Kyler Murray. He threw his 100th career touchdown pass against the Commanders. But Britton, what pro stands out the most to you?
Obviously, I'm going to go with Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. The former Sooner caught 7 balls for 98 yards in this 55-yard touchdown on Thursday night. The Cowboys beat the Giants 20-15, and now CeeDee gets a chance to show off his ability on prime time as the Cowboys face the Steelers on Sunday Night Football.
No way y'all passed on this guy. Baker Mayfield is my Sooner pro. Mayfield steered the Bucs ship right into the end zone on Sunday 3 different times. He put up 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Mayfield finished with 347 passing yards against the Eagles and got the win 33-16.
Now, with a bye for OU football, the eyes of Sooner Nation won't be on Team 130, so what else should they be watching out for?
Well, I'm going to go with the
I'll take this one. I'm keeping my eye on the injury report. Last game, the Sooners were out 5 different receivers. In total, 11 Sooners were out against Auburn. The next injury report comes out Wednesday since the Sooners have a bye week. Unfortunately, this gives them a whole week to rest up before looking to wrangle the Longhorns.
Well, the softball battle series starts on Wednesday, and in less than 24 hours, the Loves Field will be full of softball fans cheering on the 4th straight national champions and Patty Gasso with her 8 natty titles.
Well, unfortunately, we are running out of time, so I get to choose the face-off winner tonight, and I'm going with my girl, Abby. Thanks so much for watching Sooner Sports Pad. We'll be back after Texas. Have a great rest of your night.